my fortress, my refuge, still a strong tower, still a strong tower. My help, defender, still a strong tower, still a strong tower. Oh, someone let the people know anything is possible. No weapon will prosper, still a strong tower, still a strong tower. Come on. My fortress, my refuge, still a strong tower, still a strong tower. My helper, defender, still a strong tower, still a strong tower. Oh, someone let the devil know that he's gotta go. No weapon will prosper, still a strong tower, still a strong tower. Someone let the people know anything is possible. No weapon will prosper. Still a strong tower, strong fortress, my fortress. He is still a strong tower. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. My helper, my defender. Someone let the devil know. Someone let the devil know. Someone let the devil know. Tell your daddy, no weapon will prosper. Still a strong tower, still a strong tower. For the name of the Lord, yes, the name of the Lord is still a strong tower, still a strong tower. For the name of the Lord is still a strong tower, still a strong tower. I find my safety in Him, He is still a strong tower, still a strong tower. I know where to go, I know where to go, I know where to hide, I know where to hide my hiding place. He's still a strong tower. He's my hiding place. He's still a strong tower. He's my hiding place. He's still a strong tower. Still a strong. He's my hiding place. I know where to go. Oh no, He's my hiding place. I know where to go. He's my hiding. Oh, I'm safe here. Oh, He's my hiding place. Hiding place. Hiding place. Hiding place. Hiding place. Come on, say it one more time. It's not by power, by the Spirit of the living, not my battle, not by your Spirit, by the Spirit of the living, Spirit of the living. You may have an incurable disease in the room. Sounds like a God problem. He can solve it. You may have something that you can't figure out in the room. Sounds like a God problem. He can solve it. He's on it. I've got a God problem. He can solve it. He's on it. One more time. My fortress, my refuge, still a strong tower, still a strong tower. My helper, defender, still a strong tower, still a strong tower. Oh, someone let the people know anything is possible, and no weapon will prosper. Still a strong tower. One more time. He is my fortress, my refuge, my refuge. Still a strong tower, still a strong tower. My help, defender, still a strong tower, still a strong tower. Someone let the devil know. Someone let the devil know. Tell him that he's gotta go. No weapon will prosper. Still strong. It's not by power. Come on, what's the last time singing? Come on, sing. But by the Spirit of the living, Spirit of the living God. I'm not that old. Not my battle. It's not my fight. Spirit of the living, Spirit of the living God.
Welcome tonight for a night of worship and praise to the living Savior. Let God be praised. Let His glory arise. Welcome tonight, Stephen Hurd.
Let the glory of the Lord, let it rise among us. Let the glory of
Connecting the community through gospel. The new 107.9 FM, W300EB, Macon, and WDDO 980 AM, Perry, Macon. Connecting the community through gospel. The new 107.9 FM, W300EB, Macon, and WDDO 980 AM, Perry, Macon.
The views expressed on this program are not necessarily the views of the Glory 980 AM, the Glory Media Group, LLC, WDDO AM, its staff, management, or advertisers, but are the views and opinions of the participants of the broadcast.
Right.
Ask Elaine, better ask Elaine. Ask Elaine, better ask Elaine. Ask Elaine, better ask Elaine. Ask Elaine, better ask Elaine.
All right. Ask Elaine. Ask Elaine. It's time. Yeah, it's time. Let Lenny Lucas, my son, put that song together. Just
he got to make me.
Two words, 3 words, 4 words. That's all. And then his wife put the words, sang the words.
Wow.
And they just did it up. And I've had that same theme song for all of these years for a long time, and we don't plan to change. You're gonna hear Ask Elaine for many moons, many more years.
I need a song.
Yeah. Okay, welcome all of you to Ask Elaine. If you've joined us on AM, FM, or here on the Glory Live, welcome. This is your voice, Commissioner Elaine Lucas, and I feel good. I'm like James Brown. I feel good today.
Me too.
The sun is horrible, y'all. Y'all, please, please stay hydrated because that sun is not playing out there. That stuff will put you down.
Ooh.
We want to welcome Randy Crawford. Hello to you. We know that the rest of the gang is on the way. We know that there are just lots and lots of people who are listening on AM and FM. And if you want to take part in this by commenting or asking questions in the chat, please do so. Please do so. If you want to call us, the call-in number is 478-250-1444. My very special guest today and co-host is none other than Miss Kimberlyn Carter. All of you always say, when is Kimberlyn coming back? And we try to get Kimberlyn as often as we can because she shares a perspective that very few people have. She's very knowledgeable. She is a Maconite and gets back here as often as she can. But sometimes we're not able to get her because she's just all over the world. But today is your lucky day. We have this opportunity to have Miss Kimberlyn Carter, who is the executive director of Rep Georgia, and she does such wonderful stuff all over this state and in other states as well. And we're happy to say that she's a Maconite. She does indeed represent wherever she goes. Graduate of Howard University and a graduate of a whole lot of other schools, we want to tell you. So welcome, Kimberlyn.
I am immensely glad to be here because I don't care where I go. Nobody throws down the way we do when we come to Ask Elaine. So I am, excited to be here. Excited about this conversation that we are going to have. Randy Crawford, hello.
Yeah, Randy's there.
I will forever be grateful to the Crawford brothers, to the Crawford family, for keeping the labor movement alive here in Middle Georgia. And to imagine that we have finally gotten a president over all these years.
Yeah.
Who is labor organization
Went out
friendly.
and marched with them, didn't he?
Got out there and marched with them.
Y'all talk about Uncle Joe being old all you want to, but how many of you younger folks have gotten out there and marched with?
Joe
and we've got
marches,
our senator coming
Joe
in too. We
bicycles,
got
Joe surfs.
the gang's all here. Now we are complete. We've got Senator.
The state senator is in the house.
The senior senator, the longest serving, now serving in the legislature. So we're happy to have him.
They need to give him a raise. They need to give him a raise.
Look, they don't think people who work the hardest get the least usually in a lot of cases. They haven't raised. Oh, look, child, please. Okay, let's welcome Pastor Lisa, Overseer Mabel Randall, and I think I missed her show yesterday. I'm trying to think what I was doing, but I think I missed her show. But Pastor Lisa is here, Overseer Mabel Randall, Randy Crawford, and we know Ricky Crawford is not far behind, and all of the others. Y'all please like and share. We know Patrick's on his way and others, but we need you here at the beginning of the show so that we can, use your expertise all the way
I know.
through.
When they come at the end, the music starts.
Yeah, and that music comes so fast. Thank you so very much for tuning in, and we want to thank these folks at this wonderful historic radio station and the engineer and company for their graciousness and helping us to stay on the air because we dare not touch anything. Pastor Lisa says 50 years strong. Yeah. And she says, my senator, you've got some real fans, Senator.
That's right.
And Kimberly, you do as well.
You got fans and voters.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
senator.
yeah. Yeah. He ran without
too many
opposition.
people can't say that.
I tell you, he ran without opposition. How many times? How many times? 4, 5.
I done had to
Whatever.
look. I done had to help some folks off of that
Oh,
consideration.
look, to keep him from getting that.
I'm like,
that
child,
weapon.
you getting ready to spend your money and be embarrassed.
Yeah. Okay, listen.
But I will say this.
Go
I
ahead,
think
Kim.
that a lot of times, especially with, and I'm sure the senator will agree, sometimes with our young people and sometimes even in our communities, when we are not as informed as we should be about the work, about the legacy that our leaders have put in. And so, with this particular young person, I had to have the conversation. What are you talking about? He's been pro-choice up there for the longest time. What are you talking about? He's been holding Mercer University accountable to doing work in Middle Georgia and rural communities. While we have one party trying to shut down the hospitals, we have one state senator, our state senator, who's trying to put mobile health clinics to assuage the loss that the other party seems to be so comfortable with doing. We know that our state senator supports the expansion of Medicaid. And
came within one vote this last time.
That's right.
Getting it through.
So, it's a matter of us making sure, and that's how our listeners help us as well in telling the truth about the leadership, telling the truth about what our people are doing.
Right.
That's the problem Joe Biden is having right now with the misinformation campaign from the other side.
Yeah.
That all this great work that he, is doing gets overshadowed by the big lie machine.
Right. Well, the Democratic Party and that administration is not about lying to you. They're trying to get the work done. And have you ever been in a situation where you're doing the work, but somebody else who's not doing a thing, they're out there talking
about you.
They're talking about you. Y'all know what we're talking about. They're out there running their mouths, wasting time, not doing a thing to move anything forward, but you're busting your behind, getting the work done, keeping everything up, and then they're out there talking. That's the problem that the Biden administration has. But now, y'all wait, just give them just a second, because they are well funded, thanks to all of you I know who contributed to the campaign. I know you did, because that campaigns have to function, and it's contributions from citizens like you and those of us sitting here that keep it going. But just wait a quick minute, and you're going to see them come out full, all barrels blazing, I believe.
Oh, it's getting ready to be rough.
So much that they can talk about. Trump, what is it? Trump about from the convictions on 34 counts,
34
to being convicted of rape.
And let's not forget 91 indictments, but we just got to 34.
Yeah.
And we got, we have some more to go.
Right.
But what he's claiming he's going to be. Wait a minute. Do y'all know what he's doing today? Have y'all heard about what Trump is doing today?
What's he doing today?
Trump has a barbershop tour.
Oh, yeah.
Happening in Atlanta today with Black business owners and Black men. And then later tonight, Byron Donalds, Mr. Our Families Were Doing Better in Jim Crow, along with Wesley Jenkins, they're hosting a cigar event with Sasha Steele from ESPN for black men,
and they think
as
we're gonna be
party.
fooled by that. They think that he's already said it. Trump told us all we have to do is put some glittery tennis shoes out in front of y'all, and because I'm a felon, because I'm a criminal, y'all can kind of sympathize with me because all of y'all are criminals too. That's what Trump says. And then he says, y'all love me because your black basketball, your athletes are SOBs. Wasn't that what he called them? SOBs. NFL football, SOBs. And that brown and black countries are S-hole countries. That's what Trump thinks of us. It's about money. It's about white male dominance. That is all that it's about. The only thing that Trump did in office was, well, he did two things. He killed or caused to die over 1 million folks of COVID because he said it was just the flu and it was going away. 1 million people died in the United States. And secondly, he got the legislature, the Congress, to pass the biggest tax break for rich folks. Those are the two things that he did. Now, I dare anybody to either call in or post in the chat anything else that Trump did. We'll wait. Anything, y'all? That was it. That was it. But we're gonna tell you some stuff that Uncle Joe has done. Y'all want to say he's old, but you compare, and the folks that are doing things in this world are older folks too. We're waiting. We're still waiting for something else that Trump did.
I mean, no matter what the conversation is in this country, unfortunately, there is a binary. It's either going to be Trump or it's going to be Biden. You know, half of these other third party folks, I think RFK has only gotten on the ballot in 9 states.
And that's not
too sure how Cornell is doing. Dr. West probably
not
doing
any
better. Jill Stein, not sure how she's doing, but we will have the Libertarians, of course, will be on the ballot in November. But how many of us even really, know who some of those candidates are? So the choice is a binary choice. The choice is an either or. And I don't like, the thing when people say the lesser of the two evils, because because Joe Biden has not shown us his evil side.
Well, we need to ask those people who, if you tell them that insulin, ask them what their insulin used to cost, and then ask them how that compares with $35 that old, tired, decrepit Uncle Joe put in place, and Kamala Harris and the other Democrats. Ask people to compare those things. Ask them to talk about the bridges and the road work and all of those different things that have been put in place, and the forgiveness on student loans that the Republicans just filed suit to try and stop the Biden administration from forgiving student loan that keeps folks depressed for years and years and years. Y'all, anybody want to say something else about Uncle Joe? You can't tell me anything about Uncle Joe. I'm voting for him. I wish I could vote.
I'm riding with Biden till the wheels fall off.
Me too.
While he and I don't agree on everything,
you're not gonna
the things that are most important to me.
That's right.
We agree on.
My voting rights are important.
Voting is not dating. You're not picking a life partner.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Reproductive
you are
rights
choosing
are
your
important.
opponent.
That's right.
And there is nothing that that I have seen from the Trump administration or the MAGA side that I can agree with. Even with the rights restoration, the pardons, the first time offender um, uh, bill. We all know that the Obama administration had already had that stuff in the road, already rolling
and the
in the
Republicans
pipeline.
want to repeal President Obama's signature legislation, Obamacare, that has allowed millions of people to have insurance and get surgery. Carol Spain used to call in when that was going on, and she said, I have put off necessary surgery. Wasn't elective, necessary surgery, but now I'm eligible for insurance for Obamacare, and I'm going to go ahead. And she had her surgery. And it's people like that, working folks in the community who have benefited from black, white, blue, green, whatever you may be. You have benefited from the programs of the Democratic Party.
You better believe it.
Yeah. Okay. First of all, we greeted everybody. And then I want to thank the sponsors, because Kim and David, this time goes by so fast.
It does.
Until we'll be hearing that music, Ask Elaine, before you know it. I want to thank the sponsors. I want to thank former Mayor C. Jack Ellis.
Okay.
We want to thank Kimberlyn Carter and Rep Georgia. That's a sponsor of Ask Elaine. Black Voters Matter is also a supporter. Newly elected Sheriff David Davis is a sponsor. The environmental group. What's the lady's name?
Georgia Conservation Voters.
Georgia Conservation Voters. They're also one of our supporters,
and they want to come back, and they are going to continue.
We're going to have them back so they can tell you what to do as far as these utilities and how to get better involved. Senator over here is one of our sponsors, and I know I left somebody out, but Anita Reynolds Howard, and we're going to have her back on very soon too. Ran without opposition. That's a bad.
They wanted to try.
They were trying to dig up somebody. And those who had been in there before, they were so scared, their knees were shaking. But bottom line, they had enough sense to leave her alone.
Well,
and we're very proud of the fact that we endorsed newly elected Sheriff David Davis, who was successful. But we want to encourage all those others who ran to continue to be involved. I was at several meetings just recently, and I saw a number of those candidates who had run for sheriff. They were involved still in the meeting. DeAndre Hall was there involved, and some of the others were out there still involved, even though they were not successful. That's the way to convince people that your heart was truly in there, that you were sincere in running, not just going home like you were before you ran. So, okay, let's see who else. Kimberlyn and David, we want to express our condolences to the Johnson family. David's first cousin, Betty Jean Johnson, passed away. Her funeral services will be Saturday at 12 noon at Hicks. And so we want to express our condolences to the Johnson family. Betty Jean was very active with the class of Ballard Hudson class of 65. Along with her sister, her late sister, Diane, and her sister, Richardine. They all worked along with that class reunion faithfully. And Betty Jean was just an energetic somebody.
Well,
and
I tell you, that
told you how she felt. And if you didn't like it, that was just tough. You still knew how she felt. We want to welcome Marianne Whippaloo, former mayor of Gordon. Welcome. Pastor Lisa, salute them all for being willing to serve.
Absolutely.
Dr. Butler is on. and all the others who have joined us. Welcome, welcome. Now, we were expressing our condolences to the Johnson family. We also want to express our condolences to the Chester and Butler family, Terry and Jerry Butler. Jerry lost his son. He was one of the ones who drowned at Amerson Park. I'm going to tell y'all something. We're losing too many. If your children have not had swimming lessons, would you please go and pay for them and get them signed up? A lot of Black children are drowning. They're not getting swimming lessons. And so, y'all, please do that. There is no sense in that. But we want to express our condolences to the Chester and Butler families, all those who love the young man who had just finished his freshman year in college. He was a standout football player, athlete at Jones County High School, and unfortunately went out with some friends and they were fooling around in that Mulkey River out by Amerson Park. And that is a very, very dangerous area. I would say to y'all, stay out of the Mulkey River. Just stay out of it. We have lost, I think, 3 people in that river through drownings.
That's terrible.
And so it is awful, but we want to express our condolences. Those services, I believe, will be Saturday as well. And finally, we want to express our condolences to the family of the late council member Charles Jones, who passed away last week. We will be dedicating a portion of Plant Street on Friday morning at 10.
Oh, wow.
Dedicating a portion of the street in his honor. The street name will not change. That's Plant Street, but we will post signs dedicating and honoring the late council member Charles Jones there near his church, Greater Rising Star, on Plant Street. And so we encourage you to come be with us as we pay tribute. We don't have a whole lot of folks willing to serve, and those who serve and then they pass away, we need to express our sincere thanks to them for the sacrifices that they made. So we've got that. And then I think his services will be on the following Saturday. I believe it's
in July?
Not this Saturday, but the following Saturday. But
I mean, he used to have one of the largest youth programs.
And he was in the Bellevue area doing the marches against drugs and guns. He was out there. So you gotta give a person credit for what they do.
Absolutely.
And so we want to salute him. We also want to salute this young man, this 19-year-old whose family is in mourning. We also want to salute the Johnson family who have lost a wonderful member of the family. Senator,
yes,
what's going on in Atlanta?
What's going on, Senator?
Well, one of the things that we found out that we did not pass Medicaid expansion, and Medicaid expansion would have helped all of the rural hospitals.
Yes, sir.
In paying their bills. And I see that the governor gave grants to a bunch of rural hospitals who will probably get ready to fold.
Just to cut
to keep
CYA.
To keep them open. I think one of the things that we have to look at is that the Republican Party is now challenging Black voters.
Yes.
They are challenging voters, period. They challenge students who voted at Mercer.
Yes.
They tried to keep them from being able to vote, and they lost that challenge.
Right.
Now they're going around challenging anybody that they can, because this election is about those who can vote.
Right.
Yes.
And obviously,
we're not voting either.
And it's quite obviously that we are not picking up the mantle that people died for. I was in the hood the other day, and I guess young guy had to be about 27 years old and was talking about voting for Trump. And I asked him, I said,
Boy.
do you know who Mega Evers was?
Uh,
Mm.
And he didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
And Mega Evers died in his
in
driveway
his driveway, his
Yes.
children
trying to get black folks
Registered.
or people of color
Right.
Yeah,
on the books to be able to vote.
Yes.
right.
So you have the right to vote for anybody you want to, but somebody had to fight for that right just for you to be able to vote.
Yeah, you ought to have sense enough who's working for. Kimberly, David, we have our coroner, Leon Jones, on the line. Coroner, welcome to Ask Elaine.
Hey, good afternoon. How y'all doing?
We're all right. How are you?
I'm trying to make it. The visitation is going to be Friday from 4 to 6 at Rising Star. The funeral for Reverend Jones will be the next day at 12 at Mount Lebanon, the Reverend Dr. Henderson Coswell Church.
Okay, is that going to be on the 29th, this coming Saturday?
That's correct. That's correct. At noon
Okay.
at Mount Lebanon.
I
And
think all
visitation
three
is
of
at
those
Friday
services. Yeah.
afternoon.
Yeah, but the thing is,
Yeah, let's see if the coroner's finished. Coroner, what else? What other information do
That's
you
it. I just want to make sure you know the exact time for the visitation
have?
and the
Okay.
funeral services.
All
All
right.
right. Thank
All
you,
right.
ma'am.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
very much. And you stay out of the sun now.
Can't do it. Gotta work.
All right, then. Okay, Senator, our coroner is always on point, always with the information, and we
Yeah.
appreciate him. Go ahead, Senator.
one of the things that we are faced with this election is Donald Trump will tell a lie in a minute. Doesn't make any difference.
Tells it every
Yeah.
minute.
We need to understand that he was not on trial for what he did right. He was on trial for what he did wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, when you talk about a man that's had to pay millions out because he raped a woman,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
he keeps talking about making America great again.
Mm-hmm.
But what does that great look like?
That's right.
Does that great look like those folks of color who will lose their privilege
Yeah.
to
Right.
vote? I mean, vote is not really a guarantee right because if you commit a felony, you can't vote.
Yeah. Yeah. Speaking of voting and empowerment and vision, and we have on the line none other than Helen Butler, who is the executive director of the People's Agenda. Dr. Lowry, the late Reverend Joseph
Yes.
Lowry.
Yes.
Helen Butler, Sarah, how are you?
Hi, Commissioner Lucas. I'm doing great. How about you?
We're great. We have Kimberly Carter on, and we have Senator Lucas on with you. We're so happy that you were able to call in. Tell us what's going on.
Well, thank you so much. And hi, Dr. Carter, Kimberly Carter. How are you? Senator Lucas. Oh, it is so great to be with you all. But what?
Okay, go ahead, Helen.
It's so good to be with you all. We're going to be coming to Macon, Georgia on Friday. We're spending the weekend in Macon. The Black Women's Roundtable is an initiative of the National Coalition of Black Civic Participation, and we're an affiliate. So we're coming in to talk about setting the agenda for women in Georgia. And of course, you're going to be there, Elaine. Kimberly is going to be there with us. And we're going to be really having a robust discussion about what agenda, what are the issues we want to address in this upcoming November election, because we know that women, when we bring ourselves, but we bring our families with us and our communities with us. So we want to make sure that the issues that we want to address are addressed. We're going to present them. We're going to hold those candidates accountable to addressing those issues, and we're going to make sure we turn out for November.
We have to. We have to. We've been talking about Uncle Joe, and we're not. I know you're not. Your activities are nonpartisan, but I am very partisan, and I don't have a problem at all with saying what we need to be looking at and who we need to be looking at. And what do they say? Leather. Oh, leather. Um, doesn't wear out. Anyway, somebody will tell me what the
Whatever it is, it applies to all four of
strong.
us. It applies to all four of us.
Right.
That's
But,
right.
but
That's
Dr.
right.
Dr. Butler, I am so excited. We're honored that you chose Macon Bibb to host this convening, because in the county of Macon Bibb, Black women are the largest voting bloc.
That's right.
Out of the 96,000 registered voters here in Macon Bibb, nearly 30,000 of them are Black women, 22,000 are Black men, 20,000 are white women, and 18,000 are white men. And so we're so happy that you're coming to bring this message to empower us, because, Black women determine a lot that happens on the ballot, from the bottom of the ballot to the top.
Right.
And before you came on the call, if you have just a quick minute, Senator Lucas was talking about this rampant number of voter challenges that are happening across the state. And so I get the honor and privilege of serving under Dr. Butler on our 501c3 election administration work group. Could you share just a little bit with our audience about what this Eagle AI is, and just to help with the awareness of it?
Well, the Eagle, thank you, Dr. Carter. Eagle AI is just a program that was developed by a doctor in Columbia County that tries to match people's addresses and to challenge their eligibility to vote based on where they live. Of course, we know databases are not accurate. This one definitely isn't accurate.
Right.
And it's unnecessary because, quite honestly, we already have a system that allows us to make sure voter registration rolls are accurate. We use ERIC, which is a database. We also use the NBRA to help us determine who should be on. And the elections departments already do list maintenance to make sure people are eligible to vote. It's unnecessary, and it's just a way to put an undue burden on people that are already registered, or people that may be inactive who still are eligible to vote. Because if you're inactive, you can still, once you go in and vote, you become active again. So we want people to understand these systems were put in place as barriers. But of course, we know we're not going to let any barriers stop us. Our election protection teams are always on duty. We have a toll-free number that people can call. If you're challenged, respond to those letters that you get, because you have to be notified. Right. But also make sure, if you don't know what to do, that you call 866-OUR-VOTE. That's 866-687-8683. And make sure that you remain on the roll.
Yeah. The Republicans really have targeted Georgia because they lost Georgia by, you remember the famous phone call that Trump made to Raffensperger, trying to get him to just find me 11,700 and what was it, Karen? 84 votes. Just find me that many votes, and you be doing me a favor and Republicans a favor. And the one little kudo, one little salute that I do give to Raffensperger was that he had sense enough for them to record that. And so Georgia is the state that they are using as a test case. They're trying every kind of voter suppression effort, from the state legislature passing laws to just downright gumming up the system as far as getting out the vote. And so
Right.
what works for them in Georgia, they're going to take and make sure that that works. They use that formula everywhere else, because all they need to do, we are so, I don't know. We won't vote in the numbers that we need to vote in. So a lot of these places were won by Biden by slim numbers. In Georgia, 11,000. In the Philadelphia area, the numbers were were close. In a number of areas that generally vote Democratic, the numbers were very close. So they figure if they can pull all of these different tricks, this voter suppression tricks, and challenging folks' votes, it will be irritating enough that they will pull off just that little slight number. And then we got some black men out there talking about voting for Trump. He's a bad man. He's he does the "you're fired" thing and all of that. And I want to say, are you crazy? Are you crazy? Look at what he said. He called you. No, years ago, there were some black guys who were accused of raping a white woman in Central Park. Donald Trump took out full page ads saying that these boys who were later found innocent should be given the death penalty. Full page ads he ran. Yeah. Donald Trump has not changed. And you're saying he's a bad man? Right. Yeah, he is he is a bad man. But we need to be talking to these folks and try and convince them of the right way to vote. But if not, we need to register some more folks who will vote the right way to take their place. Because we can't waste all of our time on folks who it's hard for us to convince them of their own rights. So we get 2 voters registered for that one nut that you waste your time up there trying to convince to vote for his own best interest. So that's all I got to say about that. Helen Butler, tell us one more time about this conference that you're bringing. And I too am just really honored that you've chosen Macon. Macon must be an important place.
That's right.
Must be real important, y'all. Go ahead.
It is like Kimberly said, that Macon-Bibb is one of the counties that Black women are the majority registered voters. There are about 26 of the 159 counties in Georgia where Black women are the majority registered voters and can make a difference. But the idea is we're coming together to make sure on Friday, starting Friday, June 28th, going through June 30th, we'll be at the Marriott Macon Center Hotel, City Center Hotel. So please join us. We want you to be a part of this, have a say in what we want to address. These issues are important because that is the only way we're going to make sure our communities thrive and that they are equitable and that we have access to all things that our tax dollars entitle us to be entitled to. So we want people to come out and be a part of this. And we look forward to seeing you, Commissioner. And I know Kimberlin is going to be Saturday night, going to be talking about women running for office. So you all come on out and let's get this action together. We're going to go away with an action. We're not there just to talk to each other. We're talking about action.
Right. Helen Butler is just one of our idols in Georgia. She has just been involved so much. She was on what was the county board of elections that you served on?
Morgan.
The Morgan County. And all of a sudden, the folks with all of these voter suppression laws, they determined that they no longer needed your services, didn't they?
They reconstituted our board. That means that they decided who would be on the board, and that power was given to our county commission, which is by fact majority Republican. We only have one Democrat county commission. So instead of allowing the political parties, the Republican to have two, the Democrats to have two, and the county commission to have one, they decided the county commission would decide all five. So you can imagine what that meant. So because I was very outspoken about things, we wanted voters to have access and to have diversity. They didn't like for us to be on the board, so they redrew the board makeup and took me off.
Well, hey, that is one of the tricks. Mary Ann Whipple, former mayor of Gordon, is asking about the times. When is the convening taking place? On Friday, and then on Saturday, and then Sunday? Tell us a little bit more, whatever you can tell us.
Yes. We start Friday with the press conference at 2, and then at 6 o'clock we start a reception and action, and then Saturday we start at 9, and we have a dinner in the afternoon on Saturday, and Sunday we start at 9 a.m. as well.
Okay. Water Board member Desmond Brown, District 2, has joined us. Welcome, Desmond. We're on the phone with Helen Butler, who's the executive director of the People's Agenda, Coalition for the People's Agenda. We've got a lot of wonderful people on with us. Our very special guests are Rep. Georgia's Kimberlin Carter and our own senator from the 26th district, the longest serving legislator up there now, right?
Yes.
3 years, Senator David Lucas. And this is yours truly, your voice, Commissioner Elaine Lucas. And I hope to continue being your voice. They put in term limits when they consolidated. So they gave us 3 terms. And so I'm term limited. In December, Stanley Stewart, who has been elected, will become the commissioner representing District 3. But I hope to continue representing you as a member of the Macon Water Authority. I will be qualifying hopefully in September, I believe is when the qualifying will take place to represent you in District 1 of the Macon Water Authority. This will bring our numbers of representation to the huge number of 2 on the Macon Water Authority. Out of the 7, there will be 2 of us who make up the majority of voters in this county, city and county. But anyway, I digress.
That's one of those things.
Well, you got to remember. You got to remember, Alan Peake redrew all the lines.
Mr. Republican.
None of the other members knew anything about drawing lines.
Elaine,
accept me.
Yes, Helen.
I just want to say hello to Senator Lucas, but I'm going to have to drop.
Well, okay, and thank you so very
Thank
much.
you.
We appreciate
We'll
you.
Thank
see
you
you in
all
the
so much.
McTown.
Thanks,
See
Helen.
you. See you on
All right.
Friday.
See ya.
But Helen, keep listening because we have some problems with our local board of elections. We
Yeah, she's
people,
gonna play this back.
yeah,
She'll play it
people
back.
went to vote and they told them they had to have a Republican ballot, that they couldn't vote Democratic. Well, the only reason you can't vote Democratic is that the only people that are running in that area are Republicans. And there was a mix up when the drawing of the lines and everything, because folks voted one way, and when they went back,
Mhm.
they were told they couldn't vote that way.
Yeah,
and
it's a
so
lot.
uh, we've got to see about the administration of the Macon Bibb County Board of Elections make this thing right.
Yeah, we've got a lot of work
Right.
to do. Thank you so much,
We
Helen.
will definitely do that. You know, Senator Lucas, I work with you in Hancock, so I
Oh,
know
yeah.
what we got to do.
Hancock has, and we want to congratulate them because their new chair of their county commission is none other than a young black man, Mr. Adric Ingram,
Adric
who was
Ingram,
elected
funeral home
over.
owner.
Yeah, yeah. So
Yes.
we look forward. And Senator Lucas is the single senator representing Hancock County. So they should be able to get a
Right.
whole lot of stuff done that up to this point, Hancock County is the poorest county in Georgia.
And has the
Mhm.
worst health
Worst
outcomes
health outcomes.
in Georgia.
And prior to this,
Right.
there were attempts to try and get some better health delivery in that county, but the previous county commissioner, who was a white female, refused to work
Mhm.
on improving health care in Hancock County. But
That's right.
Adric Ingram and Senator Lucas, I think y'all can do it. And the people of Hancock County woke up and elected someone who looks like them and thinks like them. And we wish them all the luck in getting their health care in place, because that's 50 miles and many people pass away trying to travel 50 miles to get emergency care.
Right.
It is a shame.
That's right.
Thank you, Helen. I know you said
Thank you,
you
Dr.
had
All
to
right.
go.
Thank you so
I'll
much.
see you on
Okay.
Friday.
All right, check you later.
Thank you so much. All right, that's Helen
Yeah,
Butler.
that is the
Esky
Helen
Lane
Butler.
is the place where you get smarter. Don't you know?
That's right.
Um,
And please, if you get a chance, just Google Dr. Helen Butler.
Yeah.
She is an actual civil rights leader from a youth, from being 14 years old, being in the movement with the late Reverend Dr. Joseph Lowry
Yeah,
and Dr. King, Hosea Williams, and all of those folks.
right.
So Google Helen Butler.
Yeah.
Google
yeah,
Helen Butler.
Yeah, she's somebody.
Yeah, Google Helen Butler.
Yeah, we want to welcome Charlia Foster, my church member. She's very, very
Hey,
active.
I am AME.
Yeah, she is Amy, and she has a little genius son, that Caleb, who's
Oh,
just
yes,
a little
he
genius,
is.
just a little
Yes.
genius. He
I am Team Caleb. Yeah,
Uh-huh,
he is. He
uh-huh,
is. He is. He
uh-huh.
is.
All right. And Pastor Lisa mentions Rita Samuels, who is
Oh, my
from Monroe
goodness.
County.
Ashe.
And the late Rita Samuels
Yes.
and
She
Helen
was a
Butler
fighter
were
for
a
women.
1-2 punch.
Yeah,
And
absolutely. And
made
didn't
us
mind coming
proud.
to Macon.
Oh, look,
Didn't
love
think
coming.
Atlanta was the only place where things happen in the world.
Right. Senator, tell us what other issues that you think people need to be concerned about.
Well,
Other than Medicaid, you mentioned Medicaid expansion.
The main thing they need to be concerned about is voting.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
You've got to deal with those folks who represent you in order to get things done for our community. You know, if you don't vote, why complain?
Yeah. Yeah.
And if you scared, let us know you scared so we know not to elect you.
Yeah.
Hello.
You know, that's the problem that we are having. Everybody now wants to hug up. You my buddy. Oh, I love you.
And
But,
you're not like all those other old militant black folks. You're different.
And the problem is you get sold a bunch of goods that won't help you do one iota, period.
Exactly.
You know, we have some issues in Macon. I've been dealing with one, dealing with the Macon Water Sewage Authority. There's a guy that most of you know where ABC Liquor Store is, on the corner of Hazel and Martin Luther King. DOT came and shot the road. There was a dip in the road.
Shot?
They sent a camera down and told the Macon-Bibb County Water Authority the problem was on their side. Mm-hmm. What they meant was that the lateral line that carries sewage, wastewater, was going to the center of the street into the sewer system. Mm-hmm. They find out after 60 some odd years, and they want the property owner to go out there and fix it.
Yeah.
And I met with them and I gave them the legislation that was passed in 1974, the year prior to me being elected. And it said that they took over all properties
and water authority
and all liabilities.
Right.
And so that's a liability. Somebody did something prior to them taking over the water and sewage authority that should not have happened.
Wow.
But it did happen.
And
the only way they found out about it was that state DOT saw a dip in the road and wanted to know why the road had the dip in it. And so they put cameras down there and found out that the lateral line, the sewage line, runs right into the sewer.
So the water authority is saying that the property owner is responsible for
running the lateral line, which is all the way across the street, which means the road
is going to be
the cost is going to be something. But when they did the authority, it used to be the Macon Water Commission.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They took over those liabilities too. So they need to go ahead and fix it rather than telling this young guy whose water been cut off since February.
See, that's
which means he can't rent the other part of the building. That was a store, like a convenience store there. They cook hot dogs, hamburgers and things, but there's no run of water to the building now. And so what I've said to them is, look, this is what the law is. Either y'all can do it, or I'll see if I can't fix it for you.
So the solution is that the Macon Water Authority needs to go ahead and fix that.
Yeah.
Because it impacts not just this property owner,
that's right,
but some others around there as well.
That's right.
And so it's obvious to me, and I read that legislation because you requested a copy from the legislative office in Atlanta, and I read it too, especially since I'm running for the water board. I wanted to see, I read the legislation that created the water authority, and I saw that it said they take on all the responsibility, including $140,000 to finish up paying for Macon Hospital. All of that's in there. It's 74. So anyway, it's clear that they're responsible, but they're saying they're not going to do it. This is the kind of thing that we have got to put people in office who will make sure things happen. So is it in district? Is it District 1 or District 2?
Now that
it's Martin Luther King.
It's Martin Luther King. It's Broadway.
Desmond says it's in District 1. It's in the district I'm running.
Well, look, that's you already got your first word.
All right. We certainly agree with the senator. that is something that Macon Water Authority needs to deal with. I remember a year or so ago, there was a car dealership out Riverside Drive, and there was a cave-in. And Mayor Rickard came to the commission and asked for our approval for some money to fix that cave-in, because the statement was made that we were responsible for that the property owner should not be held responsible for it, that we should fix it, and we fixed it.
Wow.
We did.
Yeah.
So we can't have a community where you have some people that get their stuff fixed and some people who don't get their stuff fixed.
We cannot.
We cannot have it.
No,
so we've got our first little thing here going on.
Sounds like our first project.
Yeah. But thank you, Senator Lucas, for staying on this, because some other people would have just, once they were told, no, we can't do anything about it, they would have just said, oh, all right, I'm sorry. Right. It's on you. You got to do. That's looking out for constituents. That's an unfortunate thing. It's one thing that this constituent should not be responsible for.
Right. Exactly.
And so there's an authority set up that is responsible.
And the authority got more money than the county.
And the authority is getting $4.99 per month from everybody.
It does.
Plus a lot of SPLOST, millions of dollars in SPLOST money. So
and this is why elections
matter.
Have consequences.
Oh yeah.
They have serious consequences, because what year did you just name that legislation? 1974.
Yeah.
Serious consequences. And so who you elect isn't just making a decision about your present. They're making a decision about your future.
That's right.
And so that is why it is so incredibly important that you exercise your right to vote.
Right.
And 2 reminders. In the Atlanta Journal-Constitution today, Governor Kemp's leadership PAC plans to spend $1.5 million to boost Republicans in swing legislative districts,
to try and keep you from voting.
He has named HD 145 that just came through the runoff as one of those districts.
Well, so they're going to try.
So it's going to be, because there is Republican opposition in November.
It's a Republican opposition.
And so, that's what's going to happen. And I was surprised that he didn't target Floyd's race, but we need to make sure we keep an eye on Floyd Griffin's race as well, because there is Republican opposition in November for that race, which means that we need you to join us in being present at these county board of election meetings, at the counts the night of, and all of that, because the MAGA crazies, they had a camper over here when we were at the shoe store. Remember, they had a camper.
Yeah.
That they were going in, getting refreshment sandwiches and all of that, where they were camped out. They took photos of our poll workers' tags and doxed them on Facebook. So we have to be on top of things.
Yeah.
And don't forget, 866 our vote. That's 866-687-8683. Always use that number to report issues, because that's the only way that we can begin
or call us, and we will make sure that you are encouraged to take care of that. Y'all support the NAACP, support this weekend event. We'll see you again next Wednesday.
Connecting the community through gospel. The new 107.9 FM, W300EB, Macon, and WDDO 980 AM, Perry.